Hello students, this is video class on the numerical problems from the chapter number 6, work, energy and power. Let us see the first question. The sign of work done by a force on a body is important to understand. State carefully if the following quantities are positive or negative. Positive or negative. The work done by a man in lifting a bucket out of a well by means of a rope tied to the bucket. Okay, so here that body, the bucket is lifting up, means the displacement, that displacement is in upward direction and the force is also in upward direction. So theta is equal to 0 degree here. So then here, so we know the work formula, work is equal to F into D into cos of theta. So if it is 0 degree, then we'll write cos of 0 is 1. So W is equal to FD, so which is positive. So in this case, the work done is positive. And second one, work done by the gravitational force in the above case. And see, so for the same case, so the bucket is moving up and the displacement, so the force is acting downward. So the angle between F and D here, it is 180 degree. 180 degree. So that's why this will be negative force. Sorry, this will be negative work done. Work done by a friction. Work done by friction on a body sliding down in an inclined plane. So inclined plane means, so it is like this, right? And a body is sliding here. So as a result, there is an opposing force which is called the friction. And the friction and displacement, again these two are in opposite direction, like a 180 degree. If the theta is 180 degree, then cos of 180 is -1. So here also the work done is negative. Work done by the friction is negative. Work done by applied force on a body moving on a rough horizontal plane with a uniform velocity. And we know here theta is equal to 0. Why theta equal to 0? The applied force and the displacement both are in the same direction. So that's why this will be the positive work done. And the last one, work done by the resistive force of air on vibrating pendulum in bringing it to rest. So whenever the body is moving in a particular direction, so body is moving in a particular direction like this. So if it is moving like this, the air resistance will be here. This is one, and this is the displacement. So obviously here also that work will be in negative. Second one, a body of mass 2 kg initially at rest moves under the action of an applied horizontal force 7 Newton on a table with a coefficient of kinetic friction 0.1. Compute the work done by applied force in 10 seconds and work done by the friction in 10 seconds and work done by the net force in 10 seconds, and change the kinetic energy of a body in 10 seconds. This year, to calculate the work done in various cases, first you should know, so what is the net force, what is the force, net force and the displacements. Okay, so they are given the mass of a body m, this is 2 kg, and they are given the 7 Newton force. Okay, applied, this is the applied force, and they are given the coefficient of friction, that is 0.1, which is called the mu. Okay, so then force of kinetic friction, I can calculate the force of kinetic friction, that is F of k, so is equal to mu k into r. So mu value 0.1, and what's the r? R is the normal reaction, you can write it as m into g. Okay, 0.1 into m is 2 and g is 9.8. Now the answer is 1.96. So what is this? This is the force of friction. Okay, so then the net force acting on a body, so net force, this is F is equal to F, I can write the net force as F dash is equal to applied force Fa minus the frictional force. Applied force is 7 Newton as they have given, and the friction force which was opposing the motion, this is 1.96. So 7 minus 1.96, this is 5.04 Newton. So this is the net force. We call it as F net or F dash, right? And next, in case of work done, so we should get the displacement first. So as you know, the F dash, that is net force, then the acceleration is equal to, acceleration of a body is equal to F of net minus the mass. F of net is 5.04 divided by mass. Mass is 2 kg and this is 2.52. Acceleration is equal to 2.52 meter per second square. Meter per second square, right? So then the displacement of a body in 10 seconds. Displacement of a body after 10 second. After 10 second is, so which formula we use here? That is x equal to ut plus half at square. Okay, so x is equal to, so this will be 0 because of the initial velocity was 0, and 1 by 2, acceleration is 2.52, and this is time 10 square. Okay, so finally x equal to 126 meter. X equal to 126 meter. This is the displacement. For this we call the displacement. And next, for the first one, so question A, work done by the applied force. Work done by the applied force. W is equal to applied force into the displacement is x. So applied force is 7 and the displacement is 126. Displacement is 126 meter. So it is 882 joule. And in case of the question number B, so work done by the friction in 10 seconds. So work done is equal to frictional force into the displacement x. Frictional force is 1.96 into 126, and the answer is 246. 246.9. 246.9, and I have to take this as a negative because this is the work done by the frictional force. So where F and the displacement, they are in opposite direction. So they are in opposite direction. So we'll write it as Fk into x into cos of 180 degree. Cos of 180 degree. So that's why W is negative here. And work done by the net force. Work done by the net force. So work done by the net force is F into net dot that displacement. Okay, so net force, this is 5.04. we have calculated that as 5.04 into the displacement is 126, and the answer is 635.04, and this is in joule. Okay, so finally D, the change in kinetic energy of a body. So change in kinetic energy, as we know, work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. So this is by work energy theorem. So work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. You can write Kf minus Ki, initial kinetic energy and final kinetic energy. And we know initial kinetic energy was 0 because of the rest state. So W is equal to the present kinetic energy of that body. Okay, so this is nothing but 63504, which is nothing but the work done by the net force, 0.04 joule. Next question, a body constrained to move along z-axis of a coordinate system is subjected to a constant force F given by F equal to minus I cap plus 2j cap plus 3k cap Newton, where I, j, k are the unit vectors along x, y, z axis of the system respectively. Was the work done by a force in moving a body a distance of 4 meters along the z axis. And here the force is in terms of its unit vectors I cap, j cap and k cap. I cap, j cap, k cap. So we know the formula, work done is equal to, so work done is equal to vector force dot vector displacement. and see the displacement is 4 meter along the z-axis. Along the z-axis means we should take unit vector k. We should take unit vector k here. So W is equal to force is minus I cap plus 2 j cap plus 3 cap, 3k cap. So this is the force value into the displacement is 0 in I, 0 in j, 4 in k, 4 in k cap. Okay, so you can write 0 plus 0 and 3 into 4, this is 12, and this is k dot k. So k dot k means it is associated with the cos angle. So theta is equal to 0, cos of 0 is equal to 1, and you will write this is 12. This is 12, and the SI unit is joule. W is equal to 12 joule. And here an electron and a proton are detected in a cosmic ray experiment. The first with the kinetic energy 10 kiloelectron volt, means electron is moving with 10 electron volt, and the second, I mean proton, is moving with 100 kiloelectron volt. Which is faster, the electron or the proton? Obtain the ratio of their speeds. Okay, so first they have given the mass of electron, which is 1.6 into 9.1 10 to the power minus 31 kg, and mass of proton is 1.6 10 to the power minus 27, and 1 electron equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule. Okay, so first calculate the kinetic energy of electron. So first one, for electrons. Okay, so kinetic energy is equal to 10 kilo electron volt. 10 kilo electron volt. So write the 10 as it is, kilo it is 10 to the power 3, and electron volt equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. So 1.6, and simplify those 10 to the powers, and you will get 10 to the power minus 15. 10 to the power minus 15 joule. This is 3 plus 1 4, and here it is minus 19, so minus 15 joule. Right. If the electron is moving with a speed VE, then the kinetic energy of electron will be half mVe square is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 15. I want the VE value now. So this will be 2 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 15 divided by mass of the electron, and there will be square root because of the V. Right. So then simplify the values. So 2 into, you can write 2 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 15 divided by 15. So it should be, everything is in under root. 9.11 into 10 to the power minus 31, and if you simplify it, you will get answer 593 into 10 to the power 7 meter per second. Okay, in the same way you can calculate the speed of the proton. Is it? So we can write the kinetic energy of the proton. You can write it 100 kilo electron volt. 100 kilo electron volt. So write 100 as it is, kilo 10 to the power 3, and electron volt 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. Okay, and you will get answer 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 14. 10 to the power minus 14. 10 to the power minus 14. Okay, 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 14. So it's the kinetic energy of the proton. And next one, I want to calculate the speed of the proton. So this is, we can write 1 by 2 mv square is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 14. Again the v is equal to, so 2 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 4 divided by mass of the proton. So this will be 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 27. 10 to the power minus 27. Okay, and you simplify it, you will get answer. V is equal to 4.38 4.38 into 10 to the power 8, sorry, into 10 to the power 6 into 10 to the power 6 meter per second. Okay, so the velocity, it is about the proton and it is about the electron, and they're asking the ratios VE by VP. So I can write it here. So VE divided by VP. So VE value 5.93, or you can say 593, or 5.93 into 10 to the power 7, 10 to the power 7. Okay, so this answer is 5.93, which is the velocity of electron and velocity of proton. So I have calculated 4.38 into 10 to the power 6 into 10 to the power 6 as a result. So velocity of electron divided by velocity of proton is equal to 13.5 now. 13.5. It is not having any unit as it is the ratio of same quantities. Question number 14. A molecule in a gas container hits a horizontal wall with a speed 200 meters per second at an angle 30 degree with the normal, and rebounds with the same speed. Is the momentum conserved in the collision? Is the collision elastic or inelastic? Is the collision elastic or inelastic? Okay, so there is a wall, and a gas molecule hits that wall and it rebounds, and this is the vertical line. So it makes an angle 30 degree. It makes an angle 30 degree. So that's why it rebounds with the same angle. And the collision may be elastic or inelastic. So the linear momentum is always a constant. It may be called elastic collision or inelastic collision. Okay, so and they're given the speed of molecule. The speed of molecule is same before the collision and after the collision. So speed is same before the collision and after the collision. So mass doesn't alter. So mv before the collision is mv, after the collision is mv. So that's why the given, and the linear momentum is same. If you want to calculate the kinetic energy, so kinetic energy before the collision, so kinetic energy before the collision is half m into v square, and kinetic energy after the collision, also 1 by 2 m and v square. So in both the cases v same, mass same. So that's why the kinetic energy before the collision, after the collision is same. That's why you say, so there is a conservation of a linear momentum. Next problem. A pump on the ground floor of a building can pump up water to fill a tank of volume 30 meter cube. So this is 30 meter cube in 15 minutes. If the tank is 40 meter above the ground and the efficiency of the pump is 30%, how much electric power is consumed by the pump? So you should calculate the power consumed by that pump. So you have to calculate the power. First you should need the work done divided by time. So to calculate the work done, you can say the change in the potential energy, EF minus EI. So initially it was at a ground floor, so where H is equal to 0 and H2 is equal to H, you can write mg of H2 minus H. So it is nothing but mg into H, H2 minus H. So H minus 0, this is H2 minus H here. Okay, so this is work done and divided by the time. So that will give you the power required to fill the tank within that time. Okay, so what's the mass? So if you want to calculate the work done, mgh was the mass of the water to fill the tank. So which is filling that tank. Okay, so they have given the volume. That is 30 meter cube is the volume of the tank, and we know the density of water. Which is 1000 kg per meter cube. 1000 kg per meter cube. So m, actually the formula is density is equal to mass divided by volume. So mass equal to density to volume. 10 to the power 3 into volume is 30. And you can write it as 3 into 10 to the power 4. and the unit is kg. Okay, and the height of the tank, h is equal to how much? 40 meter. It is 40 meter. 40 meter. Okay, this is m. Okay, so finally w is equal to m into g into h. M into g into h. So this is 3 into 10 to the power 4, and eccentricity to gravity is 10, and height is equal to 40. So height is equal to 40. So if I take the h as a 10, so it will be like this. So better to take the g value, 9.8. So I can take it as 9.8, which is eccentricity to gravity. 3 into 9.8 into 4, okay, or 3 into 9.8 into 40, and if you simplify, you will get answer 1.176. 1.176 into 10 to the power 7 joule, into 10 to the power 7 joule. So what is this? This is the amount of work done in lifting the water. Okay, and the time taken to lift this much of water. This much of water means 40 meter cube water. I mean, where there will be 1.176 at 10 to the power 7 joule of work. So the time is equal to 15 minutes. We should convert it into SI system, which is second. So this is 15 into 16. 15 into 60 minute. Okay, so 15 into 60. So there will be 900 second. Time is equal to 900 second. So that's why power required is P is equal to work done divided by time. So work done divided by time. So work done is 1.176 into 10 to the power 7 divided by the time. That is 900. So P is equal to 13.07. 13.07 into 10 to the power 3 watt. So this is the power required to fill that tank within that time. Okay, so then efficiency of pump, which is indicated by neta, is equal to output divided by input. Output is the work done divided by the input. So we don't know what's that input power here. So input power, P input, is equal to work done divided by neta. And if I calculate that work done, that is 13.07 into 10 to the power 3 divided by neta value. They are given, it is of 30%. Okay, so this will be 30%. So 30 divided by 100. Okay, so then P of input means power input power is equal to 43.56 into 10 to the power 3. Okay, so it is nothing but 43.6 kilowatt. 43.6 kilowatt. So this is the required input electric current. This is the required input power. So the input power is nothing but the electric power for the case of the pump. The next problem is a body of mass 0.5 kg travels in a straight line with a velocity v is equal to a into x to the power 3 by 2, where a is the acceleration 5 meter per second square. What is the work done during the net force during the displacement x equal to 0 to x equal to 2 centimeter? Okay, so what they have given? They given a mass of a body, that is m, is equal to 0.5 kg, and they are given the velocity in terms of the x coordinate. As the value of x changes, the velocity changes. Okay, so they have given velocity v is equal to a, which is a constant, x to the power 3 by 2, x to the power 3 by 2. Okay, so next check the value of velocity velocity when the body at x equal to 0. So I'll write v when x is equal to 0. So that is, I call this a v1. So a into 0 to the power something. So the final answer will be 0. So then the v when its a value, I mean x equal to 2. So I call this is v2. So a into 2 to the power 3 by 2. A into 2 to the power 3 by 2. Okay, and we know the value of a, so that is 5, and 2 to the power 3 by 2. 2 to the power 3 by 2. So this is 8 square root. So I can add 2 to the power 3. This has 8, and 1 by 2 as it is. 1 by 2 as it is. Okay, so this is the value of V2 now. This is the value of V2. I want to get the work done in this case. As per the work energy theorem, W is equal to work done is equal to change in kinetic energy, that is final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. So the initial case velocity is 0, so that's why initial kinetic energy is 0. And what about the final kinetic energy? So we can calculate this is, so 1 by 2 m v square. Okay, so W is equal to 1 by 2 as it is, so it is 0.5 and v square. So v is 5 into 8 to the power 1 by 2 whole square. Right, so this is 1 by 2 as it is, and 0.5 as it is. Okay, so 5 square, this is 25, and 8 to the power 1 by 2, already it is in square, it is in square root, now it is square, so this will be 8. Okay, and next you can write 0.5 into 25 into 2 ones are 2 fours are, so this will be 4. Okay, so next 0.5 as it is. Okay, 25 into 4, it is 100. So 100 into 0.5, this is 50 joule. This is the 50 joule. So this is the amount of work done in this case. Next problem. A family uses 8 kilowatt of power. 8 kilowatt of power. Direct solar energy is incident on a horizontal surface at an average of 200 watt per square meter. If 20% of this energy can be converted to useful electric energy, how large an area is needed to supply 8 kilowatt? 8 kilowatt. Okay, so and second one is compare this area to that of the roof of a typical house. Okay, see here what I have given, the average consumption of that family is 8 kilowatt, means they need 8 kilowatt power. Okay, and they're using the solar power. So the solar energy incident on horizontal surface at an average. Okay, if the solar energy incidenting on that place is 200 watt per square meter, if the 20% of this energy can be converted into useful electric energy. Okay, first see how much energy can be supplied as electric energy by using the solar one. Okay, so let us see the first. We'll see the we'll solve the A. So the power consumption, the total power consumption is 8 kilowatt, right? And the solar energy incident on a horizontal surface. Solar incident on a horizontal surface. So solar energy incident means available solar energy is, they have given this is 200 watt per square meter. Okay, so we can write the electric energy obtained by solar per unit area, because only 20% of this will be converted to the electric energy. So among the 200, only 20% of energy will be used as electric energy. Therefore available electric energy by solar energy is 20% of 200. 20% of 200. So we'll write it as 200 into 20%, that is 20 divided by 100. So we'll write it as 40 watt. So this is the energy. This is the electric energy per meter square of surface. Okay, how much area is needed to produce the 8 kilowatt of the electric power? So it is needed to that family. So we can write therefore area needed to produce or to produce to produce 8 kilowatt is, so we can write 8 kilowatt, so it is 8 into 10 to the power 3 watt divided by, so per meter square per area, so this is 40. Okay, so now we can write this as the 200 meter square, so this is watt per meter square and it is meter square, sorry, this is watt per meter square and this is the watt, so watt cancel, there will be the meter square, so the answer is the required area is 200 meter square. And the next question is, compare this area to the roof of typical house. This area is comparable to the roof of large houses of 250 meter cube, 250 meter square. If that house is having a roof of around 250 meters square, so then we can generate the electric power, so which is needed to that home.